Happy Paranormal Day! Today, I have a very special treat for you all in the form of an extra unscheduled episode of Deviatus featuring Dalen Spratt, Juwan and Marcus Harvey, otherwise known as the Ghost Brothers. In honor of Paranormal Day, this is an extra episode this week, so if you haven't checked out part 2 of my discussion with Craig Owens of Bizarre Los Angeles, head on over to deviatus.com now to check it out. I was fortunate enough to be able to have a phone conversation with the guys from Destination America's Ghost Brothers last week. This is a show that has grown to be one of my favorites, and I have to tell you, they just had me rolling during this interview. I actually ended up editing out a few minutes just because I was laughing so hard and attempting to compose myself for the next question. We were able to connect over a conference call line, so you may hear a little difference in the audio quality, but I think you're really going to enjoy this episode. And if you're like me, you just might learn a little bit. Here we have the Ghost Brothers. All right, so thank you guys for being willing to sit down and talk with me today. I am a huge fan of the show, but I've been dying to ask you for a long time how you all met.
Well, this is Dalen speaking. Juwan and I actually met at Clark Atlanta University back in 2004, 2005. We were both students at Clark, and we ended up pledging the same fraternity. And then around the same time, Marcus was in and out of the AUC cutting hair, man, and like just styling everybody. So I ran across Marcus, and that's just how our friendship was forged. We were all in Atlanta at the same time and just on campus at the same time.
Now, were you all doing paranormal investigations together before the show, or did that just kind of happen once you were approached about the show?
No, we were doing it, a few times before the show. Jawan and I started doing it. What year was that, Juwan? Man, probably like
2011.
11? Yeah. And then Marcus came on shortly thereafter.
Now, Marcus, how did the whole barbershop thing? I mean, I know you include the barbershop in the show, but how did that come about? Was there a decision made since that was kind of your background that we need to include this in the show, or was it more of just something that's laid out for you?
Well, I mean, it's actually my barbershop, the Mussolera in East Point, Georgia, conveniently located 15 minutes away from the airport. Nice little plug right there. But no,
nice.
Actually, when we were, before we had the TV show, that's typically where we would, bring all of our, ideas, how it is in the barbershop. All great things are birthed in the barbershop. Most great ideas are birthed in the barbershop. So it was just including the civil rights movement. Man, listen, the civil rights movement started in the barbershop. I'm just letting y'all guys know. Somebody was getting cut, and they was like, you know what, I'm tired of this. And he's like, you know what, we right too, let's go. And that's how it works. So same thing with us, Somebody's like, I'm tired of not going and not knowing if there's ghosts or not. And we was like, all right, well, let's do it then. So, how we go.
See, I learned something new. I only see Marcus cutting hair. Now, do you cut hair too?
No, I don't know if that was. This is Juwan. You kind of cut out on me, Jeremy. I didn't know if you were asking me or if you were asking Dalen, but neither one of us cut hair.
Okay.
That's all me right there. That's all Marcus.
All right.
We hang out. The barbershop is just like where we all congregate, come kick it and fellowship, and we talk through ideas, and I mean, that's where. Yeah.
Okay.
You could almost call it church.
Well, I think what I love about those scenes in the barbershop is you've always got somebody like just hanging out getting their hair cut. I mean, I've never heard any of them speak on the show, but do they ever get involved in the conversation?
No, man, that's Marcus just trying to get a double check, man. Like Marcus be having clients in between. And it works. And it works. No, seriously though. Actually, there has been a couple of times where a couple of my clients' comments have been mentioned in there. There's one episode in particular with Tyler Chronicles. He's actually a stand-up comedian whose hair I cut during the show, but I cut his hair, throughout the off season or whatnot when I'm not, hunting ghosts. But we were actually going. What house were we going to? No, we were going to the hotel in Seguin, Texas. We were doing the Seguin, Texas episode, and the comment and the hotel was called the Hotel of Death. And so I asked my client, "Would you book a room at the Hotel of Death?" He's like, "Is it on Yelp?" So that one fit in.
It was on Yelp?
Yeah, that's what he had. It was on Yelp.
If you had to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was more of a timing punchline type of thing. Like, yeah, you just kind of had to be there. It didn't really land the same. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay. Well, question for each of you. Maybe we should start with Marcus here. What was your very first paranormal experience?
Well, my first actual true paranormal experience was actually on the show. Prior to starting the film, we would go out, and my curiosity was really the thing that actually really drew it to me. And of course, Dalen talking you into anything, so that's how that kind of works. But long story short, we were actually on at the Fitzpatrick Hotel, and one night we were completing a investigation, and prior to that, me and Juwan were actually investigating in the room that I was going to be sleeping in that night. And it was Juwan's bright idea, which he has many of, to play Bloody Mary in my room in an old antique mirror that we knew seemed like it was like from Rooms to Go horror. That's what this dresser looked like it was from. And so he did like Bloody Mary. And later on that night, while I was sleeping, I felt a hand brush my leg, and it was like I know that it was a ghost. So yeah, it was kind of crazy.
Oh my gosh. Jawan, what was your very first paranormal experience?
Once again, my apologies on that portal opening, Marcus. Didn't really know how to close it, so I guess I'm the reason why you were touched by, I guess I wouldn't say angel, but you know what I mean.
No Delary.
I wouldn't, so my first paranormal experience, that occurred when I was about 11 or 12 in a small town in Mississippi called Escataway, Mississippi, and I was playing Truth or Dare, and I was there to run through a graveyard, and I was running through that graveyard, and I just felt like this presence was behind me, and I turned around, and it wasn't the other kids that I was playing with, and I didn't see anybody, and I just kept running, and I still feel this presence, and then if you really I don't know if anybody tries to run from a ghost, but you can't run from a ghost. Like, it's either going to be where you are, they're always going to be in your heels. It's one of the two. So I got to a point where I was out of breath, and I just kept feeling this presence just behind me. And at that moment, I knew there was something out there outside of our existence. And that was probably my first paranormal experience when I was 11, 12 years old. Sparked my curiosity ever since, you hear me?
Yeah, I bet. How about you, Dalen?
I think mine goes back to, this had to have been like 96, 97, like around 7th grade.
Fresh out?
Yeah.
Oh, you OG.
Yeah, OG too. But no, I was at my grandmother's house in West Texas, a small town called McCamey, Texas. And real small town, everyone knows everyone. And there was a really bad tragedy that happened. It was my cousin's friend. Her boyfriend got into a domestic dispute, and he ended up shooting my cousin's friend and shooting himself. So she survived, he died. So my grandmother and her friend ended up taking me to the funeral home to view the body, which is insane to take a 7-year-old to a funeral home to see the body of someone who committed suicide and tried to attempt murder. And we get there, and my grandmother's friend asked me, like, have I ever touched a dead body before? Of course, I'm 7. Never done it before, never thought about touching a dead body. I tell her no. And she seems like she's just surprised. Like I'm just behind. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm 7 years old. Like, I should have been doing this. So she takes my hand and she puts it on the chest of the body inside the casket. And I remember just checking my hand back. And then later on that night, being back at home, my grandmother's house, I woke up about 3 o'clock in the morning. I remember looking into the kitchen from the living room. And I saw that same gentleman whose chest I just touched, standing in the door frame of the kitchen and living room, looking back at me. So, I mean, I remember just freaking out. Like, I had never in my life experienced anything like that. And I remember I just started screaming, and my grandmother came in to check on me, and then that figure was gone. So to this day, I don't know if it was a dream or if it was reality, but I just remember that imagery being so vivid.
Wow, that's a pretty fascinating story. I mean, all of you. I mean, obviously, Marcus had the one after the show started, but both you and Jawan, I mean, you had some pretty frightening encounters. What made you want to decide to do this and, like, search out those opportunities?
I mean, I think it's just that the search for knowledge that's what keeps us intrigued. It's like we had these crazy things happen to us, but they're unexplainable. And until you can have a viable explanation, you like go back and forth in your mind. Like, am I crazy? Was I tripping? Did I make that up? Like those are questions that really bother you until you go out and seek those answers. And I think that's kind of where we are this week. I was talking to a gentleman this past weekend. He was like, "You guys are so afraid and so nervous. Why do y'all keep doing it every week? Like, why do y'all keep investigating these places?" I was like, man, it's pushing through that fear. It's what's the accomplishment. Like, that's what's exciting, pushing through that fear and seeking these answers.
Yeah, it's like jumping in the lion's cage for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, somebody's going to have to train that lion. So there's never been a point where a lion tamer has never been scared that a lion ain't going to turn lion on its behind. So I think that's the kind of approach that we take. We always just feel like a ghost could go ghostly every once in a while. So we always, you know, move with respect. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't going to be mad if a ghost throws somebody up against the wall, because then that ghost just went ghost.
Well, that makes
you
sense.
You can't be mad at a lion for doing lion activities.
Well, I have to apologize. I think I might have like a 3 or 4 second delay, so I may extend my pauses between questions because I don't want to keep cutting you guys off. I think one of the things that I really love about your show is your approach to investigations. Now, last week we watched Jawan take his shirt off and lie down on a bed to make himself a trigger object. I've never seen that done on any other show. Jawan, what made you decide to take that approach?
That's called sacrifice. Tell him, Juwan.
I was a human sacrifice in that regard. I'm gonna be honest. But no, man, just trying to be creative. And you know, Annie was she loved her men, so we had the bright idea to use Juwan as a bait, literally. And I just kind of went with it. Man. And it ended up not being Annie.
Taku wasn't playing. Like,
he wasn't.
It was kind of. You know what? It really like. You know what's funny about that situation, Juwan and Daylan, y'all. When it was happening for real, like, and I don't think the camera really can catch it, the essence of it. But me and Daylan actually went up to go check on Juwan at the right time, because right when Taku had responded, Juwan was literally running out the door. We opened the door, and as soon as we opened up the door, we see Jawan running towards us. And mind you, it's like, you know, this is at night in the dark in a haunted location. So we all duck and dodge and like, yo, what you running for? What you running for? No, I'm running for something. You know, it was just one of those kind of crazy things that you had to like literally be there for that.
It was funny, but it was scary all at the same time because I really couldn't see anything.
Well, I got the impression just from Marcus and Dalen's reaction that you took maybe some liberties that weren't discussed prior to you going up there. But what was going what was going through your mind when you learned it wasn't a female spirit that you were communicating with?
I immediately got nervous. I didn't know how to react other than like, all right, maybe it's time for me to go. Kind of like R. Kelly trapped in a closet. I felt like it was just like me being the side dude gone wrong. I was like, how do I get out of here and how did I get myself in there? But I wasn't answering the question. Huh?
And David told you not to take them shoes off. That's your problem, Juwan. You taking your shoes off.
It was. But I wanted to respect her trade. I did.
Well, I've noticed you guys have really stepped up the equipment you're using in season 2. Do each of you have a favorite gadget to use, and if so, why?
Yeah, we did. We did. We got a budget this season. So, yeah, they gave us a little bit more equipment, man.
It wasn't our Uncle Lenny this year. You know, Uncle Lenny did the best he could last year. That wasn't our fault. That was me. That was us and Uncle Lenny.
But for me, Daylan, my favorite piece of equipment, it has to be the SLS cam. But I did find this new piece of equipment this weekend, fellas, man, and I want to run it past you. This might be the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. But as of right now, it's the SLS cam.
Anybody else?
Yeah. Dalen, you want to share what that equipment is real quick? Or should I just tell mine? I was curious.
So, all right, bro. So you know how we use the spirit box, right? Right. Right. And you know the spirit box, like it scans the radio frequencies, and to allow a spirit to essentially talk through it, right? So this weekend, I was investigating with a group of people, and this guy, Chad Lindbergh, who who used to have a show on Destination America, he has this new piece of equipment. And it's called like the Phasma box, Phasma or something like that, the Phasma box. And it's the same kind of thing as the spirit box, but what it does is it scans internet radio frequencies. And so what that does on the Marcus is it eliminates all of that static. So there's no static, no more static, bro. And you can ask questions just like with the spirit box, but you get like real, like clear responses.
So, bro, so you're telling me they just invented a Siri for the spirit box?
Bro, it's crazy, Marcus. It's crazy, bro. Like, when I tell you, so we were at this location this weekend, and we were spending the night at this location, and we were sitting in the dining room, and we asked the Phasma box, which room should we not sleep in? And when I tell you this voice came in clear as day, and it said the whole thing. Like, bro, I've never in my life been around a group of people, bro, and everybody's jaw just dropped, man. Like, I'd have been like, shit. Right.
You ain't got to tell me twice.
So we're going to see that in season 3, you think?
Hey, man, for sure. For sure.
We hope so.
So Jawan, I think you were going to tell me about your favorite gadget, too.
Back to me. Yes. Actually, I kind of got a couple, but it's kind of between I like the thermal camera, and then I also like the Oculus. Both for separate reasons. But the thermal camera, man, I just like the visual effects on it. I like the variation of temperature reads. And then that Oculus is dope because it just has it pulls words through the energy in the area, and sometimes you'll get some stuff that like it said our producer's name one day, and the producer was on set. It was one of the creepiest things. It made everybody's hair on my arm stand up, on the back of their neck stand up. Like the Oculus is one of those things that you can never predict what it's about to say.
And Marcus, how about you?
I guess mine would be, I have two, of course. One is the SLS cam. I really like the SLS cam. It's just always unique to see kind of like images, just like, of entities that are, moving around, and it's very like confirming when you use that SLS cam. And then the second thing is, of course, is just, just pretty much our style. We look at our style as one of the major tools that we use, just with the way that we approach the investigation, from the respect level that we have, when we go to a different site, from the, just the humor that we have. We believe that our humor is also just as much of a tool to the investigation as, our wit and everything. So, I believe that it allows us to get a little bit more activity than most, and I think as a result of it, we have the type of results that we get. So
I think tying into the humor of the show, one of the questions I had for Daylan was, some of the current shows, other paranormal shows have kind of a polar opposite vibe compared to Ghost Brothers. And I'm thinking of one in particular, Ghost Adventures with Zach Bagans. Do you make an intentional effort to be different from shows like that, or is it something you even think about?
No, man, to be completely honest, we try not to watch any other television shows because we don't want it to influence our style. So we just like to kind of go in there on our own, man, and kind of do what feels right to us. And so it was never our intention to, watch these shows and see what they're doing and what we can do differently. It just always stemmed from just us not seeing any black people anywhere doing anything paranormal. So we just set out with our friends to do what we do, what we felt was comfortable and what we felt was right. And the end result was Ghost Brothers. So, I'm glad that we're different from everybody else, but it definitely wasn't intentional. I guess that's just what happens when you are yourself, when you embrace being yourself.
I think you guys do that so well. It just comes off natural, and you guys are entertaining. I mean, you're doing the same types of things, but I really do enjoy it. It brings a lightheartedness to it, and I think a lot of people would react the same way we see you guys do, compared to someone saying, "Oh, I want to fight this ghost," or challenging them or provoking so much.
Yeah, I think that's easy to say. Get your ass whooped.
Yeah, you gonna get your ass whooped by a ghost. I just want to put that out there. They gonna keep talking that stuff, but these ghosts don't be playing no games. We do gotta remember, these ghosts have nothing to lose anymore.
Right. They've already lost the big thing.
We've already lost the battle. So they don't mind the war. They don't mind giving you the war.
Well, that's a great perspective, something to keep in mind. One of my favorite quotes from the show. One of my favorite quotes from the show is usually Marcus says it when he says it's time to pop the trunk on these ghosts. Now, how did that saying come about?
Yeah, Marcus, how did that come about?
Okay, well, what was kind of funny was what was unique. Okay, for black people, I'm just going to break it down for you, boss. Like, listen, here's how it happens. Whenever you hear a black person say, "Yo, I'm about to pop the trunk on you real quick," that means that, one, all their patience has left the building at that point in time. Two, there's something in their trunk that can actually handle that situation, mainly violently. For us, more so just to capture these ghosts. So when we say we're about to pop the trunk on these ghosts, we mean we're about to pop the trunk by getting this equipment. But in more times than not, when you hear a brother say that, when they say I'm about to pop the trunk on you, you should just pop yourself into your car and leave. That's what you should do.
I consider myself educated. I'm so glad I asked.
Yes, because if somebody tell you they could have popped the trunk on you, man, I need for you to exit the premises immediately.
Yeah. or you can be Billy Badass and pop your trunk.
Everybody got a trunk.
Everybody got a trunk. We just hope that one day the ghost gonna be like, we're gonna pop the trunk on them. And it's a wrap.
Yeah, that'd be terrible. On a very special Ghost Brothers, the ghost pop the trunk.
Dalen, Juwan, and Marcus are now being investigated.
That's right.
Oh my God, I'm laughing so much. I gotta cut some of my laughing out. Oh my God, sorry. I'm gonna compose myself here, I promise.
It's all good, man.
Well, I mean, I feel really white for asking that question.
Hey, no, listen, you are, but it's all good. It's all good. We're very black for giving you the answer too.
And that's okay. We're all okay with who we are.
Yep. Make it American.
Well, that's right. That's right. Let me get more serious here with the next one. Have any of you ever had a spirit follow you home?
No.
Juwan has not. No.
I think isn't that because we kind of close down everything after every investigation? We typically close it with prayer. And what's the other tactic that we use, like Juwan or Dalen?
You said what? Prayer. That's the biggest one. And we tell the spirits to stay there and not to come home with us. What else do we do, man?
The show never catches it. But we usually leave out with a little. Marcus usually sings us out, so I guess you can call it the benediction.
Yeah, that's a benediction.
No, I'm saying then we treat every place with respect, so we don't go in there with ill intentions or bad attitudes or anything like that. So I think we go into these places lively, energetic, and with good intentions. And nobody want to follow us home, man.
Ain't nothing to do in my house. Ain't nothing to do in my house.
Right.
Because if you follow me home, you paying the bill, homie. That's all I'm gonna say. If you follow me, you pay the bill, and that's as real as I can keep it. But real talk though. I don't know if we would even know if we were being followed by something from a previous investigation, for the sheer fact that now that we're kind of open and we know what to look for in investigations, I think that sometimes kind of, let's just say if we go to somebody's random house that actually might have some paranormal activity, we don't know if it's just what's in that house or if it's something that followed us. So I think it has heightened us. I don't believe anything has followed us, but I know that I've had a little bit more experiences and have noticed a little bit more things since doing the show. You know, just now, I guess because I'm, you know, open to the whole paranormal world now, so.
Yeah, and I think ghosts know better than to follow black people home, man. Black people got so many rules that they have. They ain't gonna have all that cutting the lights off, the slamming doors.
Yeah. None of that.
Ain't no damn business, y'all. You better turn my lights on.
I better quit going in and out, running on my air bill.
Keep your ass in the town. I guess you outside. Just wanted to go see it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I've watched every episode. I love the show, guys. I've noticed, though, that each of you have certain things that either you've refused to do, or maybe you started doing but then said, no way, I'm out of here. So maybe starting with Marcus, is there anything off limits for you during a paranormal investigation?
Everything.
Yes, that's actually it's actually kind of funny that you asked that question because I think the finale the mid-season episode on Destination America, we have a situation where something like that happens. Mine has always been I look at the paranormal versus like the spiritual as two different worlds. You know, like the spiritual, you know, you can have like, you know, demonic spirits that happen like that. So my limit is like, I don't deal with anything demonic, anything like, you know, anything of that nature. So if it's demonic, you know, any chanting, spells and stuff like that, I'm cool on those. You know, I'll leave that to my homies, you know what I'm saying? But those are the limits that, you know, I'm like I really stand on, you know. My wife's a gospel singer, so, you know, that'd be kind of weird for people to be watching me, you know, doing robo shot and cane maintain, you know what I'm saying? And then she's like, come on, praise the Lord, everybody. Like, you know, y'all was divided.
I can't say I disagree. That would have awkward appearance for her too. Jawan, how about you?
Honestly, I'm just not about any practices that are contrary to my own personal spiritual beliefs and religion. So, I have no problem sitting in on a seance. I'm not about to conduct a seance personally. I'm not about to I'm not about to get prayed over by a voodoo priestess for the sake of an investigation. That's where I'm pretty much drawing the line when it comes to a certain level of, like, I guess you can call it practice. I think we need to keep an open mind and remain, like, objective in these investigations, because that's how we seek the knowledge that we always end up finding. But we have to have that. There's a fine line, and that's one of those that I just won't cross. But we take it pretty far, especially with Dalen leading us.
And we try to fight peer pressure too, man, because like we said, man, when you messing with Daylan, man, peer pressure is a mud, bro. Like, it's just, hey guys, you know what we should do? We should sprinkle devil juice on us and set ourselves on fire so we can really get some good activity. Shut up, Daylan. And then all of a sudden you hear, like, who's the whole time trying to put some fire on? You know what I'm saying? So, peer pressure.
Roll Juwan around. He'll be all right.
Stop dropping roll, Juwan! Get it out your eye!
I do get a sense that Daylan likes to push the envelope, but what's off limits for Daylan?
Man, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, man. Like,
man.
Right. Anything short of me, like, worshiping Satan, like, I think I'm down for it, man. Like, I'm pretty much, I'm the one that I'll see that line, and I will then try to jump as far over it as I can. Like, I don't.
You're gonna straddle it. He's gonna ride that line.
No, as the late Charlie Murphy would say, he's an habitual line stepper. That's what he is.
Yeah, he is.
But my goal is, like, I already know Marcus is not going to do whatever it is idea that I have. But my goal every week is try to convince Juwan to do this dumb It's my goal. As long as I can convince Juwan.
and that's where we got Joy Jawan from?
And that's where we got Joy Juwan.
Actually, pretty soon, I'm going to be honest with you, Jeremy, we're probably going to start seeing commercials that have, it start off with like Sarah McLachlan singing and it ends with Join Juwan, because it's all just to save my life. Like, that's what it is.
You have flies flying around your face.
For 25 cents a day, you can get Juwan a nice cat. He may not make it out.
The arms of an angel.
Oh my God, you guys are killing me. Okay. Question for any of you, whoever wants to answer. Has there been one particular investigation that stood out for any particular reason among the rest of them?
Ah, man, I think every place that we've been to has some theme that just stood out to everyone. I think for me personally, I enjoyed this past week's episode, Jamaica, and it's not even just for the investigation, just because it was just a cool place to be. We brought our families, we brought our friends out there, so we just had a really good time being international with our investigation, and that's cool. Man. That's probably the best time I've had.
And Dalen and Jawan actually had a partner massage, a couple's massage too while we were in Jamaica.
Oh, wow. Some things are supposed to stay inside the family.
I'm sorry. I bet the listener. He made it feel so comfortable. I'm so sorry, y'all.
First of all, the only reason why we got a couple's massage is because it was cheaper than getting individual massage.
Jeremy, it's like this. Those investigation nights are really special, man. And we were just trying to find a way to relax. And Daylan was like, I want a massage. I was like, man, I was about to go get one. We went and talked to the receptionist, and she said that, you know what, you guys can save, listen to this, $10, $5. If you do the couples massage. And we're like, well, I mean, the dynamic, we're not a couple. She said, no, I'm just going to give you guys the discount. We were like, oh, okay, so, I mean, how is this set up? She's like, well, do you have you'll be separated? We're like, all right, great. So we signed up with the discount, got the two-person massage for one, and she didn't tell us that we were going to be on the gazebo in the middle of the ocean.
In the middle of the resort. In the middle of the resort, too.
Like, it was really just set up. It was all like, and then our entire crew sees us walking to this, like, it's almost like these nuptials.
Yes, it was. I tried to sing it, Boys to Men. I'll make love to you.
Bro, I was wondering where that song came from, man. We walked down the beach.
And Jeremy, be honest with me. You've had a massage before, right?
Actually, no, I've never paid for one. No, I mean,
but I've paid for one. Okay, you're a follower.
No.
Do it.
That's what you
do it, sir. I hear you over there, player.
Well, when you go in, they tell you to basically undress down to your comfort level. Now, when we get to this gazebo, they're like, all right, you guys can go ahead and take your clothes off. And Daylan and I standing there looking at each other like, you mean like right here? Like, there's no changing rooms or nothing? He said, no, we just sit around. I said, no, okay, all right. This is getting a little too weird for me today.
And your whole crew was watching
Close your eyes, make a wish, and turn out the candle.
Oh my God! Oh, you guys, I've got to put all this in.
Was one of the most best experiences. Jamaica was one of the best experiences. I took my clothes off at Taku, and in an investigation, Marcus heard sounds outside of Annie's tomb. Daylan, Daylan got trapped in a closet and breathing on his neck. Man, what didn't happen in Rose Hall?
Yeah, that was really a great episode. I did enjoy that one.
Yeah, and like you said, thank you. And like you said, man, like all of these have like their own different experience from when we did our first experience with Magnolia Plantation. David lost his ring, you know what I'm saying? We had with me, like I said, the Fitzpatrick Hotel getting touched. We've had a lot of situations happen, and it's funny just like now, like it's just kind of looking back on it, like just retrospectively, this is like kind of like remarkable to see like where our journey started and where we are now, how we were able to kind of like just discuss the whole paranormal genre, how we first started off, just learning, and like we're still learning now, but it's just really cool to just see how many memories have been gained and how many investigations we have already had under our belts. From Juwan going outside at the Old City Jail trying to climb up the wall. Like we've had a lot of great, chances and times and opportunities to just be creative with our investigations, and I think that's what adds that spice to it. That's that extra ingredient, that secret sauce, that last Lowry. That Lowry, you know what I'm saying? That's that seasoning that makes you get your foot took off later on in life. Because you had high blood pressure, baby. That's the kind of seasoning that is.
That's what had the Big Mac a hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you guys bring a definitely needed element to the field and to this kind of profession too. So I'm a fan forever, guys. I want to be respectful of your time. This has been a really great conversation. Thank you so much for coming on the show, teaching me about all sorts of things. And I do want to see where people can go to learn more about you and your projects individually.
Well, most importantly, they can tune in to Destination America every Friday night at 10/9 Central to catch Ghost Brothers live and direct.
Darn right.
And we live tweet every week.
We live, baby. Yeah. And so whatever you can catch me, Dalen, at Dalen Spratt on Instagram and Dalen Spratt on Twitter.
Jawan Mass, at Jawan Mass on Instagram, at Jawan Mass on Twitter. Make sure you hashtag join Jawan. And also, you can find Daylan and I, clothing line at LorenzSprat.com. We do upscale made to measure menswear. We are here to fulfill all your wedding needs. If the woman can say yes to the dress, the man should be able to salute the suit. So we're here to bring all your tutorial visions to life.
That's catchy. Say it again, Juwan.
If the woman can say yes to the dress, Lorenz Spratt can allow you to salute the suit. So please check us out. That's Lorenz Spratt on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LorenzSprat.com.
Oh, I like it. Marcus?
And here's Marcus, the Marcus Harvey. You can find me on Instagram, THE Marcus Harvey, on Twitter, THE Marcus Harvey. You could also, which is kind of interesting, that Jawan and Daylan are just made mention of Lorenz Spratt, because them included with me, with my barbershop, the Moose Hilaire, we're actually doing a program this week where we're actually supplying 6 underprivileged young men from high school around the corner from us with a total new makeover, and just getting them good for the prom. So, like they said, they salute in the suit. So, and they say, why not be fresh when they come to the chair when you go to the Moose Hilaire? So check this all out.
Certainly will, and I'll have all those links on my show notes as well. Thanks a lot, guys, so much. This has been a great conversation. It was great to meet you over the phone, and I'm looking forward to your next episode.
Thank you so much.
Hey, listen, Jeremy,
Uh-huh.
before we leave, remember the things that you've learned on here. If you hear a black person say, I'm about to pop the trunk, you run your ass on. If you go to a haunted house, don't you provoke no ghost, because you might get your ass whooped, because a ghost might go ghost. So those are the 2 things that we have learned today.
So I hope that you have learned it, and as well as everybody who is listening, those are the two things that you have learned from the Ghost Brothers. We love you guys, and we're going to continue to pop the trunk straight ghosting, y'all.
Just want to send a big thank you out to Destination America and the Ghost Brothers, Dalen Spratt, Juwan and Marcus Harvey for this educational and hilarious interview. Check out all of my show notes for this episode at deviatus.com, and you can find me on social media at DeviatusPod. Do you have a guest suggestion for an upcoming episode or an experience you'd like to share? Please get in touch with me through the website, or you can email me at deviatuspod@gmail.com. And as always, please rate and review the show. This really does help the show gain exposure for the people that are interested in the paranormal. Thanks for joining me again for this unscheduled episode. Make sure you check out our other episode that aired this week with Craig Owens about his book Haunted by History, Volume 1. Thanks again, and have a great week.